People go all the time, they think, and maybe this is what you think when you go, finally be strong in the Lord and the strength of his might. You're putting yourself in like Ray said earlier, like yesterday when he was introing the conference, you're going to see great preachers, you're going to see great speakers, and you're going to start to feel bad about yourself almost, right? Like, I can't be that, and I'm not gifted like that. And, you have all the godly giants, the theological giants in the church, and they never make mistakes like I make mistakes. They never fumble it. They're really honed into what the Lord always says to them all the time, and I'm not like that. Let me tell you something. I know a bunch of these giants, and I'm telling you, that isn't their story, man. Their story is the same as yours. They fumble it all the time. I was invited to be part of a group, great theological minds, okay, the greatest theological giants. We want you to come on and be part of this board. And we're going to do conferences and do all these things. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll think about it. And let's do a first conference. And they invited me, flew me in. We get up to the conference, and they're doing their talks and blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. These talks are just they're so heavy. And they're so like, I don't know if they're helping. And then I got this talk that's vastly different. And I don't know if I should say it. Like, maybe I should change my whole thing. And I had two buddies with me, and they're like, no, you don't change it. That's why you're here. I'm like, all right. So I got up and just did what I was going to do and talked about the Holy Spirit and depending your life on his power and not your own and the performance of Jesus for you. And in the midst of it, I talked about the idea that sometimes we do waste a lot of time. And I said, we're sitting in here parsing Hebrew verbs, and everybody outside of that bus station is dying and going to hell, and we're wasting our time in here. And they... So they didn't, so they never talked to me again. They blacklisted me, actually. They took the sermon off the website. It was there, but you couldn't listen to it. It was gray. And you'd click on it and be like, I want to hear what he said. Nah, no, you don't. And they never invited me back to a conversation. Now you might say, well, maybe they were discerning something, right? Maybe they were the right ones. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you about a conversation I had after that conference was over. So there I am, I preach my sermon, and I step down, and I got a lineup of people. And these group have already decided I'm out. And the first guy walks up to me, bawling his eyes out. And he goes, man, I got to tell you something. I was going to resign from ministry today. I'm a pastor locally, and I was going to resign from ministry. I wrote up my resignation. And I said, and then you heard about the conference? He goes, I didn't hear about the conference, man. I was walking by this church. I've never heard of this conference in my life. I was walking by this church, and I went and I looked, and there was a sandwich board. And I'm like, oh, what's that? Seems like there's a conference going on. Walks into the church, grabs, he goes, this ain't even my name tag, bro. I'm like, really, Lisa? Yeah, and he's like, and he balls his face off and he says, everything you said ripped to the core of my being, and I realized I don't have to be perfect to do ministry, and I'm going to rip up my resignation and continue to do ministry, bawling his eyes out. See, even the giants can get it wrong, y'all, right? Even the giants get it wrong. Even the giants need the grace of Jesus in their life. They can't walk in their own power. They got to walk in Jesus' power.